What's going on? You know why I played that, right?
I like that.
You know why I played that, right?
I do know.
What's going on, everybody? This is New Villa Radio. This is a special edition.
Yes.
We off the season right now. So this is your host, C. Charles, Vanya, Mike, Laurie. Cash is always filling in. What's up, Cash?
I just love
honorary
it.
guest.
I love it.
And we have a special guest in the building,
Yes.
Mr. Roberto Alves.
Yes.
Thank you for having me, guys. I'm excited. Thank you.
Welcome.
Hello, sir. I call you sir. You got a suit on.
I'll take it
I'm
off.
assuming you guys know each other, like,
yeah.
know each other.
We're familiar.
I've known Price for a little while now.
Ran into him once or twice.
Now, it was very important that I got you here because you are running for Danbury City Council at large.
Exactly.
Bigs up to you. First of all, what the heck is at large?
Means
I'm sorry, I'm slow.
No, none of that. Please, a lot of people don't know. I don't mind talking, and I'm trying to be a politician, right?
There you go.
No. So at large means you represent the whole city. Danbury's got 21 city council members. 7 of them are at large, and the other 14 are broken up into wards. The city's broken up into 7 wards.
Okay.
So those representatives only represent their specific ward.
Okay.
What made you want to do this?
I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I think I talked about it on Controlled Chaos.
Yes.
When my son was born, I was already a little bit active. I was already participating in certain things, but it was like the room was dark and I turned the light on. And, okay, I got to be even more than what I'm doing now. I have to give back to the community. The community doesn't owe me anything. I owe the community everything. And I want to make sure my kids are raised in the community that I think is right. Which the right values, the right morals, and the right vision for the future.
Yes.
Amen.
Really, the kids is what sparked it and got me involved. Just participating, volunteering, trying to find certain meetings I can go to within the city. I didn't want to be somebody who at 55, 60 was now participating, saying, "Man, I could have done so much more for my kids if I just started younger." So I was like, I got to do that now and make the sacrifice.
I like that.
I got a question real quick. How important, because me and you talked about this last week off air, how important is it for someone like me, or a lot of people in Danbury to vote to make this change? Because, like I said, I didn't know anything about it. I'm not going to front. I was sleeping. But then when you and I were talking, my eyes opened. I was like, wow, we really need to change. Something needs to happen. And I'm happy that we spoke, so I could go ahead and root for what you're going for.
We're at that age now, man.
Yeah. My ears are definitely open and eyes.
go.
Yeah.
So I'm just happier you listened when I talked. And when we had that conversation, our generation is terrible at participating. I wish we can have more people in the room and have a bigger voice. We're at that point now where if we're not involved, who gets their agenda passed? The people who are involved. If you guys go to a lot of these meetings and you go and you sit in these rooms, and it's not a knock on anybody, but a lot of the people are 20 years older than me, and I'm 34.
Yeah.
So they don't see what we're seeing, and we got to work together. I'm not saying anybody has a better opinion on something, but together we can have a better vision.
Yes.
So that's one thing, and it's just participating in general in the process.
Their vision is different than ours. And, in our 30s, we see the future a little bit different.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's something. I want to talk about this now. When you were on my show, you mentioned that. I didn't get to ask you this, but you've been crushing the internet. I've been seeing you on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. I wanted to ask you, I've been seeing this Danbury First hashtag. Talk about that. Talk about what is that? I want to the message. What's the message behind it? I know. It seems self-explanatory, but
I like that. Danbury First.
Yeah, it seems like your whole team. I've been seeing it with yourself, Will, Greg. Everybody who's running. The whole Democratic ticket has been mentioned in that Danbury First. What's that mantra? What is the what's the word I'm looking for? I want to think. I'm trying to think of the right word. What's the meaning of it all?
Well, we are here to take Danbury first, right? We're a team, and we wanted to show unity with the top of the ticket, Al Almeida, who's running for mayor.
Yes.
He's running against a 16-year incumbent who's trying to go for the governorship and third time trying to run for a different election.
Got you.
He just luckily he runs for the mayor because the gubernational is the year after the municipal.
Exactly.
So you run for mayor, you win, you have your job, and the next year you run for the state.
Right.
So what we try to spread with the Danbury First is, listen, our team is here. We want to do Danbury First. Nobody's looking for another job. The team is looking to represent Danbury and make sure
right.
the
I
right
like that.
ideas get
I like that. I like that a lot. That's good stuff.
Now, going back to what y'all were saying about the younger generation, I feel like when they vote, they feel that they really don't have a voice, and it really won't matter if they vote or not because they're not really involved in what's going on.
No, you're right, and I wish I can get people to do more than just vote. My biggest message has been for a long time, and he's mad again, put you on spot.
Yes.
I'm really about this. I'm not gaining anything. The position I'm going for doesn't pay anything. It's all volunteer. I've been away from my family 30 hours a week outside of my job.
That's crazy.
Doing this.
That's crazy.
And the thing I've been pushing the most is participation. And we can't just pat ourselves on the back after we vote, saying, "Hey, I did my part. I voted. Let's go." There's more to it. It's holding the elected people accountable. And our generation, we have to do a better job at that, not just voting. How do we get people to go to a meeting that I know is boring, but we make the sacrifice now? We use the basketball courts as an issue.
Yes.
This is an issue that if you Google meetings and minutes on the city hall, you'll see me up in front of the mayor talking on the mic about that. If we were involved in meetings beforehand, we'd probably have more courts right now, not less courts.
Wow.
That's just a little issue. I'm not trying to just cherry pick something, but that's just something I know I've spoken on.
Right.
And if we had more people, not just me in a room, one person talking about it, maybe that voice could have been a little bit better. So if we got to engage people to do that, because now at a municipal level, your vote does matter. It's not an electoral college affair. It's every vote counts.
Right.
So back to mayor. I mean, eventually your goal, if you're going to stay in Danbury, is to buy a house. You're going to pay property tax, or if you pay rent, you're paying the property tax too through the landlord.
Yeah.
Under the previous administration in the 90s, for 12 years, they never raised property taxes once. Now, the Republican administration now, they've raised those taxes, I think it's at least every year but 2 or but 1.
Wow.
So we're saying 14 or 15 years. Incrementally, 1 year, it's not that much, but over the span of 16 years,
that's a ton.
our taxes have gone up a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're the no tax party, but meanwhile, they're sticking in Mayor Boughton, and nothing against the guy, but let's talk his policies. He's running for governor saying, hey, I want to end the income tax in Connecticut, or the state tax, sorry. But at the same time, he's raised taxes every year in Danbury.
Right.
So, I mean, come on. It's a game. I get it. But we need people to call him out.
You got to.
Let's get it out there.
And he's run, if I'm not mistaken, he's run uncontested the last, 2 elections, right? Or
The last election, he was uncontested.
Yeah.
The one before that, Paul McAllister was a write-in
And then
petition
Gary
because it was
Goncalves ran as well, right?
Goncalves was 2009.
Right.
After that was Mr. T's wife. Remember Mr. Tabersack from high school?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
His wife, Lynn Tabersack, ran
Okay.
the year before Paul McAllister.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's crazy because I didn't even know that.
No, I do.
That's what that's the type of we need more representation. That's what and that's really where I like where you guys are coming with. That's what I really want to stress that, and I see that you guys are stressing that too. Here's my next question. Let's get to the issues. Let's talk about that. What do you think? And I asked you this, on my show as well, but I want to ask you again. What do you think is the biggest issue that Danbury needs to tackle? What is it to you guys, or even to you personally, that Danbury has, and how do you guys want to tackle that?
Clearly, one of the things I said is the team wants to stabilize the property tax.
Okay.
But I've been thinking a little bit further than that is what really affects everybody in Danbury. One of the things is traffic.
Yes.
Danbury feels like we've had
everywhere.
I wanted you to talk about this.
Please. Yeah.
Because I was spazzing to you last week. And you're not even council yet. I was like, you better change this tomorrow. No.
Middle Road is ridiculous.
There hasn't been a comprehensive comprehensive traffic study in Danbury since the previous administration. Again,
Wow.
And so I know things cost money, but sometimes you have to spend a little bit of money to get ahead, right? You had to risk a little bit of money to get your things off the ground.
Correct.
You have to spend a little bit of money. Let's bring in a professional company to do a comprehensive traffic study in Danbury and look what we can do to make it better. Because honestly, we probably can't just widen roads, but maybe there's other efficiencies we can do. Make certain roads one way and help that. An example is the last traffic study, I believe, was when Baumforth and Mabel, the ones over in front of Seatown.
Yes.
They weren't one-way streets, so they had a study and then they flipped.
You remember that? I don't
remember that.
That must have been a long time ago.
That was early 90s or late 80s. But that was the last time it was done.
That's crazy.
So
That's crazy.
Just that alone.
And there's been a lot of change
over
over.
there.
They've made a lot of changes without even doing something like that. You see that they're changing these highway exit ramps and they're
Yeah.
And that's a
Adding
state.
lights.
And that's the
Especially
state.
exit 6.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah.
Exit 6 is
So
crazy.
And then the issue that's again the current administration does is they throw in like, oh, that's a state road. Oh, this is a state Mill Pandanar. That's a state road.
Right.
Mill Plain, that's a state road. Yeah, but we're in Danbury, and you're our voice. So you get out of your desk, call the legislators, and work with them.
Right.
You represent us. Yes, it's a
Exactly.
state road, but you're the mayor of the city, or the state road is
You're
in.
the voice for the city.
The city council, the 21 members, 15 Republicans, 6 Democrats. You're our voice.
Exactly.
You know, if I win, which I hope I do, as a Democrat, you'll represent everybody. I don't just represent Democrats.
Right.
You represent everybody.
Everyone.
So the traffic is affecting everybody.
I like that.
Now, for me, traffic was big, and I know it's a passionate issue for a lot of people. But for me, even more than that is the schools.
Right.
You know, like I said, I
You
got involved
have
because of my
kids.
kids. My
Yep.
son will be in kindergarten next year. He's going to go to Mill Ridge. I went to Mill Ridge. My wife went to Mill Ridge. I want to make sure that their schools, the classroom sizes are controllable for the teachers. It's not fair for the teachers to have to sit there with 26 kids.
That's
Young
crazy.
kids at
Young
that.
kids.
Yeah.
I
And then-
can't even handle my
That's too
2
much.
nieces and nephews.
My wife is a
crazy.
teacher, and she said Danbury public schools, they have massive amount of kids in the classroom. Like, it's crazy.
And what do? They cut the parent-teacher aides.
Yeah.
What else do? They cut the budget. Then the mayor will
Yeah.
say that they don't cut the budget. But
That's like the adverse
Danbury
effect. No one
used
do
to
that.
give 55% of every tax dollar to the schools. Now it's just under 51%. So
Wow.
when we look at percentages, that's a lot of money out of the $250 million budget for the city. 125 is going to the schools. They need more.
And property tax
That's crazy.
goes towards things like that, right? So the property tax has gone up, but the budget for schools has gone down. Is what
Percentage-wise, yeah.
percentage wise? That makes no. That's crazy to me.
Another thing is, like, my daughter just had a fundraiser. I remember fundraisers being for the kids to do something, to go on a trip, to pay for, X amount of things. But now my daughter had a fundraiser to fund the school because they don't have the sufficient amount of supplies that they need.
What about, when we were kids, you guys ever remember a teacher having to have a fundraiser? How many, I can't tell how many times this year I've donated to a type of kind of like a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
But it's not, but it was when I think the system is more teacher based.
Right.
But because teachers need help to buy supplies because they're responsible. my job doesn't make me buy my supplies. Is yours?
No.
Right.
No, but the teachers have to.
That's
Yeah.
nuts.
I know a teacher that actually goes out of her own pocket to purchase
A lot of them do.
for
That's
her
crazy.
her classroom.
That's
A
It's
lot of them
insane.
do.
Now look
A
at
lot
the
of
rent
them.
prices in Danbury that just the city has no control over. I mean, that's private. But now the teachers have, if they want to live in Danbury, look at the prices of the apartments that are going up, like the Kennedy Flats, these luxury
right.
apartments,
They're
and things like
insane.
that.
I was
man.
looking at those
Don't look
for
at
a
those.
1 bedroom. It's like 1,700.
1,600. Yeah.
That's
So who can
Crazy.
afford? So what's the vision of Danbury in the future? Is it for the people who live in Danbury? Is it for somebody else?
It seems
Yeah, I
it's
know,
For
right?
someone else.
Wow, what a question.
We don't. Do we have? Is there? Have you guys talked about, like, industry wise, like bringing in companies and corporations and things like that pay, like, jobs like that pay to that level that you would actually be able to earn wages to be able to afford to actually live here?
That's a great question, man. I'm glad you asked that.
Yeah.
So
Cause I really want to touch this because I saw that our current mayor, he put in the video or whatever on a bid for Amazon to come.
where are we
in.
going to put 50,000 people in Danbury? And
Thank
look,
you.
we just complained about
Thank
traffic.
you.
Where are 50,000 cars going to go?
Exactly.
It's a pipe dream. It's a publicity stunt.
50,000 more commuters.
It keeps his name on Facebook. Keeps his name in the news.
Yeah.
no.
That's all it
Hold on,
is.
has that been approved though? No, okay. The Amazon? Okay, I'm about to say.
Payne Road is bad as it is.
I know, that's crazy.
I can only imagine another 50,000 cars.
And that's a
gonna happen.
major
Nah,
corporation
I
you're
hope
talking
not.
about. Yeah.
I hope
So
not. Yeah.
No, so what we have to do is stay business friendly. The administration hasn't done everything wrong. Let's build on what they've done well. Let's stop what they haven't done well, and let's make it all better.
right.
So the luxury developers downtown, they're getting tax abatements for 7 years as an incentive, almost as a gift. Hey, are you going to build? Here's 7 years tax free. So now we're losing out $200,000+ a year on some of these properties. The New Times building just got sold to a luxury
What?
to a luxury developer without even a negotiation process. They're getting 7-year tax abatement.
What?
That is insane.
Market price apartments, and market price is going to be Kennedy Flats, $1,700 for a 1-bedroom.
That's market price.
Although they did give me a discount because I work at the hospital.
Oh, they did? Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it a good
The
discount?
city's largest
Yeah,
employer.
it dropped down to like $1,100, $1,200.
Wow.
That tells me something, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see, because I wanted to see what the renewal rates are going to be like over there.
Right.
So I wonder if that's
So
new now.
1,100 now.
That's good though. But
When-
now that again, where I said, let's build on what they're doing well. That's good.
when
let's
you
make it
renew
affordable
your
for everybody
lease, it's
else.
going up to 1,700.
Yeah.
again.
Is there a limit on that or no?
That was for a 2-year lease that I had looked at.
Definitely going up to
So
1700.
these companies are getting these tax abatements, but these abatements should be going to people who are creating jobs. They're not creating jobs over there. They're creating apartments.
Right.
They're using builders who aren't from Danbury to build these places. Let's encourage a business to go downtown and maybe an industry. I don't know what idea or what it is. And the guy running for mayor, Al Almeida, the gentleman running for mayor, he said that and he presented to this. Let's make this area attractive to a business, maybe a certain industry. Is it going to be tech? Is it going to be some kind of innovation, or whatever it is? Even if it's mixed use, let's give the company who's going to take the risk in our downtown the 7-year tax abatement, because they're going to guarantee X amount of jobs. That's people commuting, people eating at lunch, people having a drink after work, and possibly going into an apartment.
Right.
Because
Let's bring
now
the
those
jobs.
people who can afford to live in Kennedy Flats, what are they doing? They're probably going to get on a train in the morning,
Right.
and they're going down to work in Stanford and Norwalk and New York City. You know, they're not working at, so maybe there are a couple people that work at Danbury Hospital, or maybe Boring, or a couple of the companies that we have here that are already based here in Danbury. Belimo, yeah, a couple of those larger corporations that are based here in Danbury, but for the most part, those people aren't, they're not people who are just working at, right here in Danbury. There are a lot of people that are taking off down there and working other places. So I think I like that idea that you guys have to bring some more business here, so that these people, it's attractive. It's a shorter commute for them as well.
Matt, let's not make Danbury a mattress community where everybody who lives in Danbury doesn't work in Danbury. They commute out of town and then come back to live here. The current administration could tell, we bring in industries to bring jobs, but what big company has come to Danbury? We get tons of restaurants. We're getting Popeyes. I mean, who's going to work at Popeyes? Are they going to live at Kennedy? No, I get that, but
they're not going to live there.
Sorry, but
it is delicious.
That's cheap day. When Popeyes is in town.
No, but you get what I'm saying, right? We open up, the 99. They're just these chain restaurants, and yes, they're bringing some kind of jobs, but they're not jobs where people can make a living off of.
Right. These are like a lot of second jobs. A lot of them you're going to see students working at. The waitresses, waiter jobs, the bar backs and things like that, bartenders. It's not going to be like somebody who's like making their main source of income working at these places and being able to live, nice. They're living,
I agree,
in different, different type of situation.
I say we have to support us, small businesses, things like that. That's how we'll grow.
Because when you, correct me if I'm wrong, when you do bring in those type of those type of companies, it benefits everybody. Like you said, the people are going out to the small little hole in the wall diner, or little restaurant, the little Ecuadorian restaurants that are down there. Like, a business booms for everybody when you bring more people, and there's more people in, more people here, more people are local, and things are easier to get to. I like that. I
want to read a quote that I read from your Facebook page, and just kind of want you to expand on it a little bit. But you said, let's work together to end our current city council's long-standing partisan rubber stamp approvals on important decisions. What do you mean by that? Like, rubber stamp approvals? Kind of expand on that.
So the city council right now is a 15-6 Republican majority. So the rubber stamp is, say the mayor, he wants something, he gets it. There's no debate. The best example I can use is back to money, is our $251 million budget. There is line for line. You can look at the mayor's budget and the city council's budget, because they send their own, and it matches line for line. And then we can look at the voting. I believe the last budget passed 15-6. Again, not one Democrat voted for it, because they don't have a voice. They can't say, hey, no, the schools need more money, or let's allocate money elsewhere. So that's a big rubber stamp he has. Another rubber stamp was the tax abatements on the properties. When the News Times it passed, not 15-6. This one passed, I want to say 17-4. But if we had a more diverse city council, then the debate could have happened. If I was on that city council, I would not have voted for that 7-year abatement. I would have wanted a negotiation.
Right.
Now, if that property was sitting vacant for years and now it looks like nobody's buying it, we have to encourage a developer. But right off the bat like that, do we really have to give 7 years present, $200,000 plus a year? No, let's negotiate. It's a gift. So that's another rubber stamp there. So that's what I mean. It's 16 years of complacency, and people feel that, hey, they're going to win, and they can just say, whatever he wants, we're going to give him because he's helped us.
Right.
And if you look a lot of the city council, you have a couple members or not, one member who was a Democrat, his chief of staff was a Democrat, was a candidate for mayor once, and now he's his chief of staff. So he's a great politician. He's great at making people go along with him. But now there's no debate there. And I'm just trying to be a voice and let's have this debate. Let's talk about the issues. Let's have this discussion together as a community, because things shouldn't just be passing this easily. 16 years.
Yeah, that's something that honestly has been over my head, and even my parents. I'm sure if I was to raise that up to them, they would not even have known that happened either. And they're homeowners here in the city. They're, people who pay taxes here in the city, and I'm sure that they didn't even know about that. And they're both registered Democrats as well. I bet they did not even know about that. And it's not to say that they're ill-informed. It's just to say that type of stuff is the things that they can just sneak in, and they'll be right over your head, right? And people just keep carrying on because they have things in their lives that they're worried about.
It's a stat quote thing. It's where Danbury's like, my window's not broken. I can still drive on my street. There may be a pothole there that's been there for 12 years.
Yeah,
and people are okay with it.
But I'll keep swerving around it. It's no big deal, right?
So we just need, again, let's go back to participation. People need to be do a little bit better job of being informed. And maybe if I get in there, our team gets in there, we can figure out a better way to reach out to the community. I don't know what it is. Is it a new website? The City of Danbury does have a decent website.
Yeah,
website.
I looked at it. It's pretty decent.
But how do we? People have to be accountable too. The public has to be accountable. We have to know what's going on in our communities. We can't just let people make these decisions for us. They work for us.
Exactly. That's the most important thing. That's the most important thing. And Mike, you brought up that, some of the young people don't feel like, their voice is heard, or they feel like even if I do go vote, what is it really going to mean?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. And I think
that was my thinking in the 20s.
Major politics, like the major mainstream politics. I feel like in the whole landscape of what's going on with on the mainstream media and things like that. I feel like that's what's deterring people from believing that, and what the core of democracy is, and that they work for us. We elect these people to their positions. So if you want to go and scream that you want something to get done, but you have to be there.
You have to be there to scream.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't scream from your keyboard.
Yeah.
Right.
You could only share so many Facebook posts until you kind of realize that, you need to do more than that.
Yes.
No more Twitter fingers.
No.
Go out.
I was guilty of not voting, because I'd be like, all these people putting these signs in my yard. It's just like, I'm not even gonna vote. What does it matter for me? But as I got older, and you find out like what each position of the city council does for the city is, it's like, this is important.
You guys are closer to like us. Like you said, this isn't a paid position for you. No. You are really representing the people inside this.
And I think it starts at this level. And if we can maybe we can be the example in Danbury. If we can get this town to, hopefully this election, but if not, build on the traction that some of us younger guys are. I'm 34 and I'm saying young, right? But
we're still young.
We're still young. You're still young,
we have Sabo, we have Joe Britton, we have Dave Arcani, who's a state rep. And we have a solid team. If we could build on this enthusiasm and energy, and then maybe we can be an example for the rest of the state, and then hopefully even a bigger picture, right? So let's get people to come out and participate. Let's show them what we can do, and then let's forget trickle down economics. Like they do, right? Let's cut the tax from the rich and trickle down. It's never going to happen.
We don't want that.
But what we can do is a trickle up.
Yeah.
It's have this energy build up to the state legislator, then the governor, and then Congress and Senate, and show them that these people are accessible. Elizabeth Esty is accessible. Chris Murphy is accessible.
Yes.
Their team, because we got to be honest, they can't answer thousands and thousands of people every day.
Nope.
But somebody will get back to you. But we just have to reach out.
You have to do your part too. You got to meet them halfway. And even the energy and excitement is one thing to use, but even for anybody listening, even your frustration, use that as motivation to get out here and voice your opinion, air your grievances. These people are there to listen to you, and that's what I think is really important about for what people do.
So practically, how would we do that? In terms of like, okay, if I legitimately tomorrow was like, you know what, I want to raise up my concerns, where do I go? Who do I contact? Practically, how do we actually,
That's a great
do
question.
it?
No, so now let's see if you have a problem on your road, you have a street light that's out. Let's get really simple. You have a pothole. The first thing you do is you can call your city council, your ward person. Mm-hmm. So let's say you live in the first ward, right? Doesn't matter where. You can go online to the city's website. You can find out who that person is very easily, and then they have an email there. They will get back to you. So the first person get involved with an issue like that. Mm-hmm. Now let's say you want to be involved because you want to make sure money's allocated in the right area. The city council meetings are open to the public. So you can get in there. They'll put the agenda up the day before, which I don't like. They should give people more time.
Right.
Hopefully it's something we can change. Mm-hmm. You can look at the agenda. You go to the city council meeting, which is, now I'm sorry if I'm wrong on this one, I want to say it's the first Tuesday of every month. Every once in a while, because of a holiday, they might switch it around. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You go to the city council chambers, 3rd floor of the city hall. You'll have this agenda, and you can talk as a member of the public about anything that's on that agenda. They'll do the Pledge of Allegiance, and then they open up the meeting to the public. Mm-hmm. You want to talk? That's where I talked about the basketball courts. That's where I talked against the OTB. That's zoning.
That's a
whole
big
other issue, right?
Whole other issue. Nobody, don't let that come here. And I feel
it's
like
gonna pass. So
Wait, what are you guys
they're gonna
talking
sneak
about?
that in there.
Off-track betting, Vanya. Off-track betting.
You can go bet on dog racing
Highlight.
and highlight.
Do you know what highlight is?
Really?
Yes.
They approved it. Rubber stamp. The zoning approved it, so they can put one anywhere in Danbury if they want. And then, from what I understand, after Election Day, there's going to be a city council meeting, which will be whoever wins or lose. This city council right now, it's their last agenda before the new one takes over. Mm-hmm. They're going to go there, and that's when the vote's going to be to see if they could put that OTB in 2 steps.
Of course.
So it's going to be probably.
And does that fit the agenda or fit the vision of what?
Right.
Here's my questions like, what are they trying to do?
So here's a perfect example. Say
it.
you're against OTB, or even if you're for OTB. Against or for, you have to speak for something too.
Right.
Because then there might be somebody there speaking against it. Mm-hmm. When I was at the zoning meeting speaking against OTB, there were maybe a handful of people speaking for it. And we had petitions with hundreds of signatures against, dozens of people talking, and it still passed. But don't let that discourage you. It didn't discourage me. I'm still going. Mm-hmm. And you can go to that meeting and you can speak up on that issue, on what you're feeling. You go there, you tell them your name, your address. If you don't live in Danbury, but you're a property owner, you can speak too. And then you let them know that's how you can participate.
Who's got the brass like that can get that to pass even though you went through all that? Somebody, see, that's...
Well, what do they have to worry about it? Because we don't vote. Last election, we had 25% participation rate.
Oh, my God.
Why would you worry about if people don't vote? That's how important it is. You want to talk about
they know
do you
they
want
can
your
just
kids
push
to be able
something
to do
through
that
like
when they're
that.
18?
Yeah, they know they can just push something through like that because they know there's not going to be much pushback.
Exactly. Why? You're not going to vote.
Right?
That's whatever you want.
You want to change it? You don't want this to go through vote.
If the city turns, it's our fault as members of the public. I'm a member of the public. I'm not a politician. I'm a father, an employee, and a husband.
And Danbury resident.
Mm-hmm. So that's what we need. We need people to, just suck it up. And what did I say here? But we got to put the phone down. We got to put the Xbox controller down, and we got to make that sacrifice for our time because it is a sacrifice.
Yep.
But it's good because when we get older, we're gonna regret it.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. You don't want to look back and say, man, like you said before,
I could have done this.
I wish I could have done it. You know what? Why is this even here? If I knew about this when it happened, like you can't know about it before it happens.
Matt, we've had a voice since we were 18, and what do we do with it?
Yeah.
Right.
Haven't done anything.
No.
Dibble and dabble.
I don't want to talk too crazy because there has been a lot of change around here, and you see things like around the city, things have popped up in there, but like. I guess it goes back to what I was just saying before. It doesn't fit. It's not necessarily a vision. Like these things are popping up all over the place. Like you said, these random restaurants, like corporate chains and things like that. But it doesn't fit a vision. We have no character here.
No, what do we want to be? Do we want to be Stanford? Do we want to be a small town New England Richfield? Right. Or can we be a healthy mix? But we can be whatever the community wants it to be if the community participates. If we don't participate, it's going to be whoever is there, what their vision is. Let's have a voice.
Most cities are like characterized by like an industry. Like we were the hat city, the hat capital of the entire United States.
Do you feel like we lost that?
I feel like we lost that because what is the main industry here? Like what is the draw? Nobody's coming here from Texas being like, yo, I'm trying to move to Danbury because X, Y, this is
They have the best cowboy hats.
Yeah, they have this here, or they have this company is there. That's why I want to move there. There's not a lot of people doing that anymore. There's people coming from all over the country, all over the place, to work in the hat factories then, because that was a big industry. So I feel like we lost that, and that's what I feel like is important, is we need to find a character again. Is that like something that you guys have talked about within the Democratic Party, like is like regaining
I think
the
it's back
character?
to the vision. It's not so much character is what's the idea, right? What are we going to do? Are we going to bring an industry? Or are we going to be a mattress community? I don't want us to be a mattress community. I want people who work in Danbury to be able to afford to live in Danbury.
Right.
I've been through that, right? When my wife and I had our kids and we had to rent before we were able to buy our house, and you're looking at the costs and we're looking at each other like, how do people do this? And then with daycare, we were so lucky that I had my mother here to help us with our kids. Because if we didn't,
that's another thing, man.
How do you pay for childcare?
Childcare is crazy,
through the roof.
Super
$30,000 a year for 2 kids.
That's crazy.
4 and a 2-year-old. So when my son was 2,
how much
my
did
daughter
you just
was
say?
4.
What was the number you just said?
No, because I was lucky at my mother.
Some people don't even make that a year, bro.
No, exactly.
That number you just said.
No, but so now say you have like a decent job, you're not rich, but you're middle class. Mm-hmm. You're paying $30,000 a year because you're not going to get the government help.
What?
But then the people who need the government help need to keep getting it. I'm not saying they don't, but I'm just saying that the prices are astronomical.
That's crazy.
For anything convenient. In Danbury, it is. I mean,
there's some things for like $1,000 a week.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa.
And that was with no meals included. You still have to better brown bag that.
You got to feed the kids. You can't just drop them off and give them no food.
No, but you have a child, right? Do you have somebody family watching, or do you pay for daycare?
Well, right now she's in the after school program, but
beautiful. Yeah,
that's paying out of pocket.
Yeah.
There's no state assistance or government assistance. That's, you want your child to be looked after. You want to continue to work. These out. We're gonna get paid every week for this.
Those are bigger issues that maybe state, even federal. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to blame or say, hey, I can fix this, because we have to be realistic with what we can do. And again, what my biggest goal throughout this whole thing is to drive up voter participation and to encourage people to vote. I want Danbury to be the place where other towns are like, hey, let's go talk to them and see what they did. Look at that 18 to 35-year-old age group. They have the highest participation in the city. These kids and these young adults, they care about their town, and they're working together to make their town better.
Yes.
Let's support each other. The conversation we started was just like with artists too. It's disheartening, but we don't do a good job even supporting our local artists.
No, we don't. No. We talk about that.
We have no support.
24/7.
We talked about that, you and I too.
Yes.
So it's everywhere, right? We have to change the culture. I mean, maybe we start with Tron and the younger guys and try to get him involved. Put you on the spot and see who walked in. But we need to get everybody. We got to support each other. We got to support our own businesses. We have guys who own print shops. Manny, right?
Yeah, Manuel.
Let's get everybody going to our local businesses. Let's support our local politicians and encourage them. Let's put each other up on our shoulders, and let's work together and be that example. Let's be that shining star, and let's show them. We got guys with radio stations, with podcasts, rappers, singers, cafes, bars.
Support each other.
Stores. Let's be that example. Let's get this community together. Let's vote.
That's why I keep saying we have to support us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Period.
You can't, if you see somebody still coming up with these things, you gotta do it. I'm not begging people to listen to their stuff or come to my places or whatever like that, but you should want to.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, let's say one of us or all of us make it big. We're gonna give back to the city, to the youth, so that they can see that we have created an outlet for them to come and say, hey, I'm interested in doing what you guys did. How did you do it?
That's a big part of the motivation for me, is I want to show people that you can do it. The younger kids, like, yo, listen, man, you can do that. And I feel like that's a big example, too, is that if we start to get involved at that age range right there, 18 to 35, we start to get involved, they'll see when they turn 18 and they can vote, they're like, you know what?
He did it.
This place is completely different than when when I was a kid. Now I'm 18. Like, now I'm 18 and I can make it changed and turn it into maybe something.
We have to support each other everywhere. It's a community. It takes a village, right? So voting is one aspect of it. Supporting a local radio station is another, and a restaurant. Let's get kids. I try to drag my kids to everything I can. Yeah. Like, what Jamel does, all his volunteer groups. I knew he was outside raising money the other day, and I caught it on Facebook. I was like, all right, I'm going to take 10 minutes. I'm going to go there and chop it up with him for a little bit. And I just want to support him because he's a good person.
Yes.
And we need more people like that. So then we need the group that's in here. Whenever we see something like that, let's go out of our way. Let's make that sacrifice. Because then if we do it, maybe we can get one other person to do it and just get that trickle that way too. Mm-hmm. We have to support our community, and let's vote. Let's Let's put people on their shoulders who are doing good. Let's show them off to the world, and let's work together. We can do this.
I love the message. I love the message.
Final 2 questions before we let you go. Number 1, where can you register to vote? For people who don't know.
I have registration forms in the car. I can bring them in if anybody needs them.
Nice. He stays ready.
I'm registered.
But you can register online. I can get that website for you. Maybe we can put it up.
Okay.
But
I'll
you
put
can
it in
do
the
it in
video.
person.
Yep.
At the registered voters office. You can. The deadline is the 31st to do it before election day. But in Danbury, you can go to the registrar's office on election day, register to vote, and then vote that day. I'd rather you just took care of it now, and let's get that ready.
But for those Danburyans who like to wait to the last second, because you know that's the Danbury way.
That's all.
We always late places.
But we're gonna change that, right?
Hopefully, that's one of the changes we gotta make.
What happened?
Nah.
Oh, okay. Last question of the night. When you get elected.
When you get elected. Let's speak it into
When you get elected.
Let's speak it into existence.
That's right.
What will be, how important will that mean to you, and what will be the first thing you do?
Well, it'll be really, the end goal is to get elected, right? It'll be super important. That's what I'm trying to do. I want to win. I'm not running to lose. I do want to drive participation. Let's win. The first thing I'll do is I want to initiate the debate on the school budget, so then we're ready for it. When the budget year comes around, we already have that conversation going, so it's no surprise that I want more money for our schools. So that's what I want to drive.
I love that.
Nice.
I
I like
love
that,
that.
man.
That's the most important thing. We want smart kids, man.
Guys,
I'm gonna say
I put the three guys and Tron on the spot last week. I'm gonna put you guys on the spot too. The 28th at 10 a.m. We're doing a little rally over at Hatters Park, political rally, just to do a little kickoff for the campaign. It's from 10 to 11. There'll be coffee, refreshments, a couple speeches, some special guests. My man's already gonna give me an excuse over here, but we'll talk about it after. No. So, we're gonna have a lot of the people running for governor on the Democratic side. Who are exploring the runs are gonna be there. Later in the day, Elizabeth Esty will be in Danbury. She's gonna be making phone calls on our behalf and at our headquarters about 1 o'clock.
Awesome.
Oh, wow.
And we're gonna just blitz the city with literature and just try to spread our word. If you guys can come, please come. I'd love for you to be able to do mobile interviews. I don't know if you
That'd
the
be awesome.
technology behind that, but that's why I asked you if you guys could.
Yeah.
Just
He's
you
got
can
the
walk around and
technology.
meet everybody.
He's got a little
and
bigger
do a
budget
little
than I do.
quick, like 2-minute interviews with people who are running for governor, who let them know who you are now, because right now they're gonna want every vote you have and networking.
Right.
Right.
I mean, as much as I'd love to go, I'm already doing a community health missions.
Western?
Yeah,
I'm gonna stop
with
by.
the hospital. So we're doing.
Oh, Mission Health? You're doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because at my job today,
his-
they were pulling
his
a bunch of
excuse
taxes.
back.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm supposed to work.
That's a good
I'm
cause.
That's a good
volunteering
cause.
for half my day just to help the community.
I like that.
I'll bring candidates
Mission
to
Health
you.
is a good thing they do. I like that.
I'll be there.
No, thank you.
I'm right
So,
behind you.
like I said, I don't know if that's possible. Even if it's just a mic, even if it's just a video iPhone interview, but you guys have the opportunity to do that.
Okay.
And we can spread the word. Let's share the event on Facebook. Let's just try to drive some people to the community there. And 10, 11, they can meet some people, shake some hands, kiss some babies, play the game. And,
We love babies.
With a Pope? What?
Before we let you go, do you have any social media where the people can follow you, contact you, things like that?
You can. I kept it simple for everybody. It's at Vote Alves 2017, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. If you want to email me, I'm very responsive. It's votealves2017 at outlook.com. Alves with an S.
Nice.
We appreciate your time, man.
I appreciate your
Thank
time.
you,
You guys,
bro.
your season ended last. You got last week, and you did this to get me out
we
there.
had
and
to,
thank
we had
you.
to.
I appreciate everybody. You guys took
Yes.
out time out of your day for this. That's the sacrifice I was talking about.
Thank you.
Let's help each other out, and whatever I can do for you
We
guys.
have to let the people know.
Go and vote.
Vote, yo.
Yes.
Put that
I'm
on
not.
your
I'm
calendar.
being serious.
November 7th.
That's the day.
Love
That's
it.
the day that this man will be city council at large.
At large. Don't forget about that.
That sound like it's wanted.
I know. When you say at large right there,
Large.
that made me want to vote right now. At large.
Guys, continue following us throughout our social medias, everything at New Villa Radio. Make sure you get the app. Check out our website, newvillaentertainment.com. Happy Hour Show will be back November 28th. We Break Silence Show will be back November 30th. And I mean, we're gonna still do things throughout the time off. So
About the break.
stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned.
Yes.
Roberto, once again, thank you, brother.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
appreciate you.
Yo, good luck, man. Thank you.
Got you.
I'll be there. You got my vote, man.
Got your vote, right?
I don't live in Danbury anymore. I'm in
See, we
Naugatuck.
gotta get the good people back. You work at a hospital.
I know.
Sorry, but you have a lot of people in Danbury. You're gonna get them out to vote for us,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know people that know people that know people.
I know.
Okay?
Spread the
Tell
word.
them to vote.
That's why I'm telling y'all.
Tell your friends about it.
Everybody have a good night, man. Cash, thank you for filling in like always.
My pleasure,
Always
man.
coming
Thank you
through.
for having me on.
Appreciate you guys.
My
Everybody
pleasure.
have a good night.
Good
All right,
night.
y'all.
This is New Villa Entertainment.